Evening students. Today I am going to discuss Contemporary India 2, Social Science Geography, Class 10, Chapter 2. And the chapter name is Forest and Wildlife Resources. Note that this chapter, Forest and Wildlife Resources, to be assessed in the periodic test only and will not be evaluated in the final board examination. It is an important and interesting chapter. Let's discuss the topic. Forest and wildlife resources. Natural vegetation or forest and wildlife are important resources because they provide us with many different products that we use in our day-to-day life. We share this planet with millions of other living beings, starting from microorganisms and bacteria, lichen to banyan trees, elephant and blue whales. This entire habitat that we live, it has immense biodiversity or huge biodiversity. We humans, along with all living organisms, form a complex web of ecological system in which we are only a part and very much dependent on this system for our own existence. Like the plants, animals and microorganisms recreate the quality of the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, and the soil that produce our food, without which we cannot survive. Forests play a key role in the ecological system as these are also the primary producer on which all other living beings dependent. Natural vegetation and wildlife exist only in the narrow zone of contact between the lithosphere means landform, hydrosphere means water surface, and atmosphere means air that we call the biosphere. And in the biosphere, living beings are interrelated and interdependent on each other for survival. This life supporting system is known as the ecosystem. Biodiversity or biological diversity. The existence of millions of living beings like animals, plants and human beings side by side is known as biodiversity or biological diversity. It is immensely rich in plants, wildlife and cultivated species. India is one of the world's richest biodiversity or biological diversity country and has nearly 8% of the total number of species in the world. You may have realized the importance of these resources in our daily life. These diverse flora and fauna are so well integrated part in our daily life. What is flora? The flora of a country consists of plant kingdom of that country. It covers trees in the forest, other flowering and non-flowering trees. India have about 47,000 different kind of species of plants and 5,000 of them are exclusively found in India. What is fauna? The fauna of a country consists of birds, fish and animals. It also includes amphibians, reptiles, mammals, small insects and worms. There are about 81,000 different kinds of species of fauna in India. Forest and wildlife resources. But lately, they are under great stress mainly due to uncontrolled to our environment. Some estimates suggest that at least 10% of India's recorded wild flora and 20% of its mammals are on the threatened list or danger condition. Many of these are on extinction like cheetah, pink-headed duck, mountain quail, it is a one type of small bird, and plants like Maduca insignis, it's a wild variety of moa, and Hoovardia heptaneuron, it is a one type of grass. The dimension of deforestation in India are staggering. The forest and tree cover in the country is about 24% of the total geographical area. In fact, no one can say that how many species may have already been lost. Today, we only talk of the large and more visible animals and plants that have become extinct. But What about smaller animals like insects and plants? Do you know that among the larger animals in India, 79 species of mammals, 44 of birds, 15 of reptiles, and 3 of amphibians are threatened or in danger? Nearly 1,500 plant species are considered endangered. Flowering plants and animals have recently become extinct at a rate estimated to be 50 to 100 times the average expected natural rate. Habitat destruction, poaching or illegal hunting, overexploitation, environmental pollution, poisoning, and forest fire are some factors which have led to the decline in Indian biodiversity. Now understand the different categories of existing plants and animal species. Based on the International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, short from IUCN, the species are classified as number 1 normal species, number 2 rare species, number 3 vulnerable species, number 4 endangered species, number 5 extinct species, and number 6 endemic species. Number 1 normal species. Species whose population levels are considered to be normal for their survival are known as normal species, such as cattle like cow, goat, lamb, etc., shal tree, pine tree, etc. Here we see some pictures of normal species like cattle, shal trees, pine trees. Number 2 rare species. Species with small population may move into the vulnerable or endangered category if the negative factors affecting them continue. Such rare species are desert fox, hornbill, wild Asiatic buffalo, etc. Here we see some pictures of rare species. Number 3 vulnerable species. These are species whose population has declined and move into the endangered category in the near future if the negative factors continue to operate. Such vulnerable species are blue sheep, Asiatic elephant, Gangetic dolphin, etc. Here we see the pictures of some vulnerable species. Number 4 endangered species. These are species which are in danger of extinction, such as crocodile, Indian wild ass, Indian rhino, lion, etc. Here we see some pictures of endangered species. Number 5 extinct species. These are species which are not found after search of known areas where they may occur. A species may be extinct from a local area, region, country, continent, or the entire earth. Some extinct species are Asiatic cheetah, pink-headed duck, etc. Here we see the pictures of some extinct species. And number 6 endemic species. These are species which are only found in some particular areas. Example of such species are Mithun, it is one type of buffalo. It is only found in Arunachal Pradesh. Pigeon in Nicobar Island and wild pig in Andaman, Nicobar Island, etc. Here we see some pictures of endemic species, Mithun, Nicobar pigeon, Andaman wild pig. Now discuss importance of forest and wildlife. First, importance of natural vegetation or forest. Forests provide us fuel wood, timber, etc. They give shelter to animals, produce oxygen, protect soil which is essential for growing crops, help in storage of underground water, give us fruits, nuts, turpentine oil, gum, medicinal plants, etc. And the importance of wildlife are they provide us milk, egg, meat, hides or skin and wool. Insects like bees provide us honey and help in pollination. Pollination means transfer of pollen from one plant to another plant of flowers. The birds feed on insects and act as decomposer as well. And number 4, fishes provide us nutrients, etc. Major causes of depletion of forest and wildlife resources. Forest and wildlife are our wealth. Plants give shelter to the animals and together they maintain the ecosystem. But changes of climate and human interference can cause the loss of natural habitats for the plants and animals. Many species have become vulnerable or endangered and some are on the verge of extinction. Some causes are: number one, deforestation. It means cutting the trees continuously. Number two, shifting cultivation or zoom cultivation or slash and burn agriculture. It means cutting and burning of plants in a forest and to create a field for agriculture. And after 2 or 3 years, they cultivated on this field, and after that, they left this field and going to another place. This type of cultivation maximum seen northeastern parts of the country, and it is one of the major cause of depletion of forest. Number three, soil erosion. When soils are eroded by natural agents and human activity is called soil erosion. Number four, mining. Mining is another important factor behind deforestation. The Boxer Tiger Reserve in West Bengal is seriously threatened by the ongoing dolomite mining. It has disturbed the natural habitat of many species and blocked the migration route of several others, including the great Indian elephant. Number five, constructional activities. The greatest damage inflicted on Indian forest was during the colonial period due to the expansion of the railways, agriculture, commercial and scientific forestry, mining activities, urbanization and also industrialization. Even after independence, agricultural expansion continued to be one of the major causes of depletion of forest resources. Between 1951 and 1980, according to the Forest Survey of India, over 26,000 square kilometers of forest area was converted into agricultural land all over India. And large-scale development projects have also contributed significantly to the loss of forest. Since 1951, over 5,000 square kilometers of forest was cleared for river valley projects, such as Narmada Sagar project in Madhya Pradesh. Number 6, forest fire is another reason. Number 7, tsunami. And number 8, landslide. And last one, poaching or illegal hunting, poisoning and environmental pollution such as air, water and soil pollution are another cause which result in a sharp decline in the number of particular species. The animals are poached for collection and illegal trade of skin, nails, teeth, horn, as well as feathers. Some of these animals are tiger, elephant, lion, deer, rhino, peacock, etc. Here you see some pictures of deforestation, shifting cultivation, soil erosion, mining, urbanization, industrialization, forest fires, landslides, and poaching. Conservation of forest and wildlife. Conservation in the background of rapid decline in wildlife protection and forestry has become essential. But why do we need to conserve our forest and wildlife? Conservation preserves the ecological diversity and our life supporting system, water, air and soil. It also preserves the genetic diversity of plants and animals for better growth of species and breeding. For example, in agriculture, we are still dependent on traditional crop varieties. Forest and wildlife can be conserved by increasing awareness. The Indian Wildlife Protection Act was implemented in 1972 with various provisions for protecting habitats. Some conserving methods are: number 1, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves are made to protect our natural vegetation or forest and wildlife. Here, national park, wildlife sanctuaries, and biosphere reserve means a natural area where different species of vulnerable or endangered plants and animals are protected. In India, there are about 104 national parks, 543 wildlife sanctuaries, and 18 biosphere reserves. Some national parks are Sundarbans National Parks in West Bengal, Betla National Park in Jharkhand, Jim Corbett National Park in Uttarakhand, Kaziranga National Park in Assam, and so on. Some wildlife sanctuaries are Gir Wildlife Sanctuaries in Gujarat, Periyar Wildlife Sanctuary in Kerala, Sariksha Wildlife Sanctuary in Rajasthan, etc. And some biosphere reserves are Nilgiri in South India, Nanda Devi in North India, Gulf of Mannar is also South India, Simlipal in Odisha, and Sundarban in West Bengal. Number 2. Conservation of lakes, wetland, ponds are necessary to save the precious resource from depletion. Number 3. Banned hunting and giving legal protection and passed new laws against the cut of trees and trade or illegal killing of birds and animals. In India, killing of tigers, lions, deers, peacocks and other some species are illegal. Number 4. Awareness programs like social forestry and Bono Mahotsav should be encouraged at the regional and community level. What is social forestry and Bono Mahotsav? Social forestry and Bono Mahotsav means arrange a program by the society or school students to plant the trees in the degraded and deforested areas. So, conservation of plants and animals is a moral duty of every citizen. Here we see some national parks of India, Betla National Park in Jharkhand, Kaziranga National Park in Assam, and Sundarban National Park, and is also Biosphere Reserve in West Bengal. And we see some pictures of social forestry and Bono Mahotsav. The central government also announced several projects for protecting specific animals which were importantly threatened, including the tiger, the one-horned rhinos, the Kashmir stag means deer, the Asiatic lion, crocodile, gharial, and others. Most recently, the Indian elephant, black buck or sinkara, the great Indian bustard, one type of birds, the snow leopard, etc. have been given full or partial legal protection against hunting and trade throughout India. Project Tiger. Tiger is one of the key wildlife species in the faunal web, means animal web. In 1973, the authorities realized that the tiger population had diminished to 1,827 from an estimated 55,000 at the turn of the century. The major threats to tiger population are such as poaching for trade, deforestation, growing human population, etc. Project Tiger, one of the well-published wildlife campaigns in the world, was launched in 1973. In India, there were 39 tiger reserves covering an area of 32,000 square kilometers. Corbett National Park in Uttarakhand, Sundarbans National Park in West Bengal, Sariksha Wildlife Sanctuary in Rajasthan, Manos Tiger Reserve in Assam are some of the tiger reserves of India. Here we see some tiger reserves of India. Sundarban National Park in West Bengal, Corbett National Park in Uttarakhand, Manos Tiger Reserve in Assam, and last one, Sariksha Wildlife Sanctuary in Rajasthan. The Forest Department of India classify the forest under the following categories. If we want to conserve our vast forest and wildlife resources, it is rather difficult to manage, control and regulate them. In India, much of its forest and wildlife resources are either owned or managed by the government through the Forest Department or other governmental departments. These are classified under the following categories: number 1 reserve forest, number 2 protected forest, and number 3 unclassed forest. Reserve forests are regarded as the most valuable as far as the conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife resources. More than half of the total forest land has been declared as reserve forest, such as West Bengal, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh states have large percentage of reserve forest. Number 2, protected forest. These forest land are protected from any further depletion. Almost one-third of the total forest areas are protected forest. Bihar, Haryana, Punjab, Odisha states have a bulk of protected forest. Unclassed forest. These are other forests and wasteland belonging to both government and private individuals and communities, such as all northeastern states of India and parts of Gujarat have a high percentage of unclassed forest. Reserved and protected forests are also referred to as permanent forest, which maintained for the purpose of producing timber and other forest products. Madhya Pradesh has the largest area under permanent forest. It covers 75% of its total forest area. Here we see some pictures of reserve forest, protected forest, unclassed forest. Conservation strategies are not new in our country. We often ignore that in India. Forests are also home to some of the traditional communities. In some areas of India, local communities are struggling to conserve these habitats along with government officers because they will secure their own long-term livelihood. In Sariksha Tiger Reserve, Rajasthan, villagers have fought against mining by cutting the Wildlife Protection Act. In many areas, villagers themselves are protecting habitats and clearly rejecting government involvement. The inhabitants of 5 villages in the Alwar district of Rajasthan have declared 1200 hectares of forest as the Bhairodev Dakov Sonachuri, declaring their own set of rules and regulations which do not allow hunting and are protecting the wildlife against any outside encroachments or attack. The famous Chipko movement in the Himalayas, Uttarakhand state in Mandal village was a movement for against the cutting of trees, and they has not only successfully resisted deforestation in several areas but also shown that community afforestation with indigenous species can be enormously successful. The Chipko movement derived from the Hindi word Chipko, which meaning is to stick, where batches of men and women are gathered in this place. It was led by the grassroots environmental activist Sundarlal Bahuguna. Attempts to revive the traditional conservation methods or developing new methods of ecological farming are now widespread. Farmers and citizens groups like the Bij Bachao Andolan in the late 1980s in Tehri, Uttarakhand and Navdhania in 1984 have shown that adequate levels of diversified crop production without the use of synthetic or artificial chemicals are possible and economically viable. Bij Bachao Andolan was led by the farmer and social activist Sri Vijay Jardhari. It is famous for its unique movement to save the traditional seeds of the hills. And Navdhania means 9 seeds, and this movement was led by the environmentalist Vandana Shiva to provide direction and support to environmental activism. Joint Forest Management, short from JFM. This program in India gives a good example for involving local communities in the management and restoration of degraded forest. The program has been in formal existence since 1988, when the state of Odisha passed the first resolution for joint forest management. JFM or joint forest management depends on the formation of local village institutions that undertake protection activities mostly on degraded forest land and managed by the forest department. The clear lesson from the dynamics of both environmental destruction and reconstruction in India is that local communities everywhere have to be involved in some kind of natural resource management. But there is still a long way to go before local communities are at the central stage in decision making. Accept only those economic or developmental activities that are people-centric, environment-friendly, and economically rewarding. Here we see some pictures of Chipko movement, Bij Bachao Andolan, Navdanya movement, and joint forest management program. Thank you.